I would actually not mind the teddy boy. I don't think that. No, I don't think that would look too bad.
I think anything would probably look better than the current.
Well, do you know? I said this earlier that I had for 4 years. Right, I had the pleasure of working with some very nice people at Talk who were the makeup artists.
Oh, right.
And they used to just trim my hair like whenever they thought it needed a bit of trimming.
Oh, yeah.
They'd trim my nose hair, they'd do my eyebrows. So I never went to the barbers for literally about 4 years.
Yeah.
Right, and it never looked like it grew because they just kept it on the hook. And so I finally went and got my hair cut for the first time.
Can I just ask you this?
Yeah.
Right. So Talk Radio, basically a commercial disaster.
Yeah.
How many makeup artists did you have in the morning then?
Just one.
Yeah, but all day, how many did they employ?
But through the day, there was probably three or four.
Really?
Yeah, because they'd have to go from, and when it was Talk TV, there was always at least two per, at any moment of the day.
But it was still on television, was it, Talk Radio?
Well, when
it went from Talk TV.
When I started at Talk Radio, we didn't have any cameras at all.
Yeah.
It was just a radio station.
Yeah.
But then it evolved into what it became, which was actually very successfully a kind of a hybrid version.
Yeah.
So it was a radio station on TV on YouTube, which worked really well. Then they decided to turn it into a TV station, which didn't go so well because they spent an awful lot of money on things that they probably shouldn't have spent money on. Like what? Well, like equipment, like unionised, camera operators. Sort of ITV levels of manning behind the scenes.
Yeah.
My final show, which I did with one of the evening shows, they said, the producer came out and said, the guys, in the gallery would like to come and have a picture with you because it's the last show, blah, blah, blah. About 25 people appeared,
So
they were paying them all quite well,
right?
And that was money that they just wasted.
Okay, so this is where most media companies are old-fashioned. What is clear, if you read any research on this kind of stuff, what you're doing is actually, there is some effort to look like television, but the main effort is actually, does it sound like anything anybody wants to say?
It's what we say.
And so you don't need to have thousands of people giving you makeup. You don't need loads of people in the gallery. You've got a one-man band over there who's worth his weight in gold, and actually he's trying to make some gold out of it.
He is. He's doing a good job actually. Because he's making me look good.
Yes, well, it's
he's even
true.
making you look good actually.
Well, I tell you what, you look. That's not possible. That's not possible.
Are we in a position to say anything, by the way, Pooch, about what we're doing?
Yeah.
Shall we say it?
Yeah, go for it.
Let's do it because. We are not only going to be producing the Mike Graham Show going into the future, going forward, as we like to say.
Yeah, going forward.
You've sat in many meetings where people talk about going forward. Going forward.
Going backwards.
Forward.
Going backwards.
We've had a couple of ideas, and you might have noticed that Kelvin's been here for a few weeks now, coming in and sitting with me and chatting. So we've decided it's so good that we're going to make our own show. So in addition to the Mike Graham Show, we're going to have the Kelvin and Mike Show, which we haven't quite got a name for yet, but we're going to kick it off next week, aren't we?
We are. In fact, after this, it shows you the deep research and investment we're making. after this show, we're going to a local noshery where we're going to then map out what it's going to sound and look like, and it may look something very similar to the.
I need to subscribe to this.
Oh yeah, okay. So
your new channel.
So there's a new channel being launched, right? I mean, we're actually being quite serious here. It's going to be called UK Live, and you can see there youtube.com /at UK Live Online, and there's going to be a whole host of things to watch there, in addition to Kelvin and I show. But we're going to kick it off with that. Yeah. We might not even have to go to a local cafe, because Pooch has got to rush off, so we can just stay here.
Yeah, okay.
Fine. Because you've got to go anyway, haven't you?
I have got to go. But anyway, look.
But listen, we're very excited about it because what we know is that when we stop at 9:30, and a lot of you have said, can you not go to 10 o'clock? And the reason we haven't done that in the past is because we wanted to try and get it right for 2.5 hours. We started on 2 hours, and we got 2.5. We will now be doing an extra hour with Kelvin, and it'll be a fascinating show. It'll be, funny. It will be, sanguine at times, maybe mournful occasionally. We'll have stories about, our time in Fleet Street, of which there are many. And it'll be a kind of similar thing to what we're doing now.
Yeah, I mean, for instance, be able to raise this fascinating issue that Rupert Murdoch had his 95th in a New York restaurant the other night. The great and the good were all
He's
there.
an amazing guy, isn't he?
Yeah.
To be still going at 95.
Yeah, he's still going. One of the more surprising guests there was Tony Blair.
Yeah.
And the reason I say it was surprising is because, to my personal knowledge, i.e., he called me about it, very upset, was that he accused Tony Blair of getting too close
Yes.
to his then wife, Wendi
Yes.
Deng. Now, the issue about that was, so he actually said it to me. I mean,
Right.
yeah, right. And he was particularly upset that Tony Blair, despite the fact that he was always saying, I'm in the US, can I pop in and see you? Actually, on this occasion, had popped round to the Beverly Hills vineyard that Murdoch owns. You should all have one. Hadn't told Rupert that he was in the country, nor that he was popping round to Beverly Hills to drop in on the home. Now, Mr. Blair has always denied that he got, quotes, too close,
Yes.
unquotes. But
It's an unusual thing to do, though, isn't it? If you're going to visit somebody's house, but they're not there, but the wife's there.
Yeah.
It's quite an unusual thing to do.
Well, it probably has happened in your lifetime a few times.
Yeah, and
and
there's never been anything decent about it. Let's put it that way.
anyway, the great news is that time is a great healer. Time
Obviously.
is a
Yeah.
great healer.
Yeah.
The only thing is, and so he ends up at the 95th, and this followed what must be the thick end of 10 years
Yeah.
of. In fact, Blair was calling his office up to say this is completely untrue because Rupert then leaked the lot to
Because it
Mail
was
on
written,
Sunday.
was it not written in the Vanity Fair at some point as well?
Oh yeah, it's written everywhere now. Rupert arranged for all this lot to
Yeah.
appear in the Mail on Sunday.
Right.
Right, every Sunday there would be a new episode. Anyway, so Blair was constantly calling up his office in New York, and Murdoch told me this, calling him up saying, it's not true.
Yeah.
There was no. Right, there was nothing, and Murdoch eventually told his PA, tell Mr. Blair I'm not accepting his calls. Stop calling.
Yeah.
So things got pretty bad, but clearly
they're
Rupert
okay
now
now.
accepts
Yeah.
that there was no.
Oh, right. You think that rather than he's not forgiven him then? You just think
I don't know.
he's
I have
accepted it
no
didn't
idea.
happen.
I'm not
Well,
close.
in
I'm not
the
close.
context of, I don't know
By the
whether
way,
you-
Wendi Deng was an attractive woman, so
She
it'd be
was?
worth.
Well, do you remember when she took on that guy in the Leveson inquiry?
Yeah.
Kung Fu job on him.
Gave him a
Yeah,
You
absolutely,
wouldn't.
a couple of
well,
chops.
hold
But
on
how
a
about-
second. He
yeah.
gave evidence. Murdoch himself said during one of the many court cases he's ended up in that they had a row and she shoved it.
That's it.
And he broke a rib or
Yeah.
something like that, and he was laid up.
Oh, she was quite handy, I think, with the old.
Yeah, of course there was
fists.
some
But the
suggestion.
other thing that,
Yeah.
that happened was that Tony Blair has been a subject of this new documentary. I don't know if you watched it on Channel 4.
Yeah,
Where
I
his
didn't
wife,
watch it.
Well, I couldn't get. Talk about broadband. My
Yeah.
broadband was so bad I couldn't even fire it up to watch it on Channel 4's app. But his wife, Cherie, was interviewed at some length and said he was a very good politician. In fact, he was a much better politician than he was a husband.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, what does that tell you?
Do you know what? I was astonished about that. So she is a very clever.
Another lawyer.
Another lawyer, but also clever, and she never got because she was in Blair's shadow, she was just another one, right? But she was a KC, QC, and should have got more credit for the fact that she, from her background where she ended up, but of course she got none. She knew when she said that this was not a throwaway line, right? This was her way of giving him a punch in the gut. Because that is the only quote that anybody has ever used about that. So actually, I'm not sure she did him harm, since actually...
She made the point, though.
She made the point.
Yeah.
And I wonder what their relationship was like. Now, I don't know whether she went to the Murdoch 95th.
Yeah.
Okay? I would bet my backside to London Bridge that she didn't.
No, I would
And
imagine that's
therefore,
right.
that in itself would be enough to tell you most things.
Yeah.
That she didn't want to be the subject of gossip when she walked in through
Oh,
that.
yeah, absolutely right. Now, listen.